And now it's time for the ridiculous.
What kinds of things make people pissed?
And how many suitors exactly has she dismissed?
Siri, what are some locations for a lover's tryst?
Oh, darling, surely there must be a list.
A list?
A list?
A list? You're telling me it's all here on this bleeding list? That's preposterous and ludicrous.
Well, actually, it's all quite
Ridiculous, ridiculous, ridiculous.
Welcome to The Ridiculous. I'm Sally Brooks.
And I'm Jen O'Neill, and we're back with more fun lists for you this week.
Hello, Jen.
Hello,
good.
Sally.
It's good to see your face.
Good to see you.
I don't know if people can tell by your voice if they're listening to it or by looking at you, but you
Look like
have
shit.
changed.
I know.
I don't know if people can tell by your voice, but you are looking rough.
Yeah, I know.
What's going on with you?
Listen,
No, I was going to say you've changed. You have become a different person since the last time we recorded this podcast.
I am a different person, and this may shock you, it may shock all of our listeners. It shocks me. I don't know what happened to me, but I am now a sports fan.
Jen is a legit sports
of
fan.
one particular sport. I feel like my dad is an insane sports fan, and I've never understood him, and I've never understood why he gets so emotionally invested in sport. It's been an enigma to me. But recently I feel like my inner Tom O'Neill was unlocked. I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened.
So,
I'll just say that I got the shock of my life because I got a text from Jen that was like, hey, do you want to go to a basketball game tonight? And I was like, respectfully, no. Who are you? Why are you texting me? This is nuts. I don't understand. I would go. I just didn't want to.
I went to a Hawks game like a couple weeks ago. Jim has season tickets to like everything, because he's free ticket Jim. And and I do go to sporting events. Like I'll go to baseball games and I'll go to soccer games or whatever. And I don't like watching it on TV. I will go to live sports, but I go to drink while sitting next to the person that's enjoying it, and I people watch or whatever. Right. I'm not.
It's like the event, not
the game.
Yeah.
Yes, but we went to a Hawks game, and it was my first live basketball game, and I found myself just riveted. It's so fast paced that I was like, oh my God, this is what I need for my ADD brain.
Yeah.
Like there's just so much action, so much scoring. Even when there is a timeout or something, there's there's like excitement and little shows happening. People come out and play like music or dance or something. And I was just
like the TikTok of sports.
Totally. That's exactly what it is.
Something new.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just go, go, go. And it's not a long game. It's like, and so I was just like, holy shit. I went from like the beginning of the game. I was like, do they always like yell at the other team when they're doing a free throw? And Jim was like, yeah, that's just kind of how it goes. And I was just like, that's really rude. And I don't think I like that. And then like an hour later, I was like, fuck you, Philly!
High five and every chest bumps and like beer bongs.
Oh man, it's so fun. And then last night, I had Jim unfortunately couldn't go, but he gave me his tickets, and I asked Sally and she declined.
Respectfully.
So I took my buddy Gilbert and we had a fucking blast. We had so much fun. So I plan to go to all of them.
I mean,
sorry, free ticket, Jim, but you're just going to have to keep giving me free tickets. And if you won't give me free tickets, I'm going to have to get them from someone else. Because I'm not going to pay for them.
Do we think Jim could get free tickets to? now that I'm thinking about it.
Name a thing, and I'm sure he'll get them for you.
Name a thing. All right. I'm gonna have to think about that, but that sounds very exciting. Well, I'm just so excited that you are now into the sports. Not that I'm into the sports. I just, it's a whole new side of you.
I know.
I mean, you went from remember when I was like trying to do a bracket for, I can't remember what it was for. It was for something in Dumb Love. And you were like, I don't know what a bracket is. And now look at you.
I still don't know what a bracket is, but I'll figure it out if it means going to
a basketball game.
Yeah, it was funny when we first walked in on the first game. Jim was like, "I have like this credit, this like big credit at the Hawk store. Like, do you want anything, or do you want to get anything for the kids or whatever?" I was like, "No, we're good." And now I'm like, "Do I? I need the stuff.
You
need the hat. I need the sure. Yeah. What if like that was my new thing? Is I just walked around in like a big, Hawk starter jacket."
Ooh, what if you wore like a jersey as like a mini dress? Like that was your thing.
Oh yeah, that should be my thing for sure.
We were
cut like a little slit in the front part.
yes. Just a big
tie it on the sides. Yeah,
yeah, you can like lace it up.
Oh
man, with like big pointy, like thigh high pointy boots. Yeah,
I'll be the world's sluttiest basketball fan. That's my new thing.
We were so we were having dinner with our friends, Matt and Katrina and Jeff and April. And this was before New Year's. And I was trying to talk everybody into getting some ridiculous like thing for the next year, like something that you do that you don't tell anybody else about, but just see if people notice. Like our friend Matt, we were like, oh, you should get like dye your like blonde tips.
Oh, like what was that? A Chelsea or whatever? Yeah.
Yeah, like you just are blonde tip guy. Like that is now your thing. I was trying to get Ben to wear basketball jerseys to become a jersey guy. And just like not like just, this is just your thing. You're not gonna like mention it or we're not gonna laugh about it. It just is like you have to bring your thing into the new year. I was trying to get April, who is like, she's pretty like deadpan kind of person. I was like, you should become a woo girl. Like anytime somebody is like, do you want to go do this? Be like, woo, yeah, I do. She's like a lawyer. She's very low key.
She's hilarious though. I love her whole vibe, which is like low key deadpan, but when you actually talk to her, she's hilarious and so funny and cool.
Yes.
Yeah. That's my favorite kind of person.
Oh yeah. It's I would love if then you were also.
What's gonna be your thing? Oh, like I should start wearing like Air Jordans and see if people notice.
I mean, and the jersey dress. Yeah.
Yeah, and the jersey dress.
Yeah. I don't know. I was more just the person who came up with people things. I didn't come up with one for myself, but I will think about it.
Okay.
Nobody
think of what your thing should be. Maybe just like calling everybody bestie or fucker.
Ooh.
No in between. They're either like, hey besties or hey fuckers. Like,
hey besties.
Yeah. Hey little shit bags. Yeah.
Oh, I think this is good. I think that's really, can you imagine like how uncomfortable I would feel every time I did it?
Because I know you hate that. I think you said that once, said that like that's one of your biggest pet peeves is besties.
Hey besties.
I have to tell you, one of the announcer ladies at the Hawks game, she gets everybody going, just like hype woman. She says, hey besties. I noticed that.
Yeah. A lot. It's annoying.
Everybody says it. Yeah.
Everybody says it. And I don't like it.
Well, I'm going to give her a pass because she is hyping up my new favorite team.
That's true. I mean,
the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah. Go Hawks. All right. Let's get to our lists.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. So my list this week is kind of It's a little, I think it kind of goes with like the hey besties thing. And I think it is because like I don't get it, but I'm also like I'm Gen X, right? Like I think I just am like I'm above.
Oh, I'm a millennial.
Yeah, well then this
Sorry.
list is for you. But you know what I think is
I'm actually I don't know if I am or not. It's debatable. I'm like right on the
I think
cusp.
you're right. You're like an elder millennial.
Yeah, I'm an
and
elder
I'm like
millennial.
a baby Gen X.
Yeah, baby.
I'm just a baby. Um and I think it's so funny because it's like for so long we would talk about millennials like they were like, oh, they're the worst and they're so young and young millennial like just
Yeah.
millennials as if and now millennials are like 40, right? And
I
so
know.
and now everybody's like looking at millennials as if they're like lame. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh man, no, but just nobody even knows about us anymore.
Let's just like keep quiet and fly under the radar. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
we don't want to be boomers. Let's just be
Nope.
like, listen, guys, we're out. But I used to like complain because I, managed a lot of younger people for a
Mhm.
long time. And I would complain all the time about millennials. And then I remember my ex-husband was like, I hate to break this to you, but you are a millennial. And I was like, no, I'm not. And he was like, yes, you are. And then he like pulled it up and it's like, I guess it ends 1980. And so I was
Yeah.
like, no way. I'm not a fucking millennial. And now I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm a millennial. Sorry. I'm so young. So young.
And I'm just like, I would never. I would never.
No, Gen X is cooler.
Gen X is cooler.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is from BuzzFeed, and this list is, quote, definitely a millennial. People are sharing the signs that clearly identify millennials, and I'm guilty of quite a few of these. That's the title. And
Okay.
then the subtitle is It's Giving Millennial. So this is compiled by Alana Valco. And I wonder how many of these you are
guilty of?
You're guilty of. Some of them I'm like, I didn't even know it was a thing to begin with. And so the fact that it's now seen as lame is just makes me feel grateful that I'm just like oblivious to this bullshit. So
yeah.
So she says, recently I learned that the front tuck, aka when you tuck your shirt in the front but not in the back, now signals to the use that you're a millennial. Which I didn't know, but
I do that.
I
It's
do that
also
too.
known as the French tuck.
It's also known as a
which
French tuck,
sounds
and we did it way
much
before this
cooler.
round of it.
Yeah, and we did it in the 80s when you really go for it.
Yeah,
Remember when
yeah.
you do the balloon and then you let the
Yes.
back really hang? They even made shirts that were like uneven for that purpose. Remember
Yeah.
with the tails? Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, of course. Like,
So
yeah,
what?
this isn't new. It all comes around. So, okay, also learned this person said the side parts, no-show socks, and skinny jeans are also trends that scream millennial.
I thought that now people are going back to the side part. I thought that it was if you have a middle part, then it ages. They're saying that you're old, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's still middle part.
I mean, I think it's like it went very quickly, like from side part, and then they were like, no, middle part, and now it's like, no, fuck you, we're side part again. Like, so that's why I just am like, I'm just gonna do what I want with
I think
my own
we
thing.
need to go back to the early 1990s zigzag part. Do you remember that? I think we need to do that, and then everybody will be happy.
So I did a zigzag part because they were like, it makes your hair look more full.
With the chunky like peanut butter and jelly highlights.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's some other things that people say that are millennial. Okay, so they're likely a millennial when they don't react well to anyone that hasn't yet seen their favorite book series, film series, or TV show from the 1990s, 2000s.
Okay.
I mean,
I just feel like that's a people thing. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm sorry you haven't been alive long enough to have a thing that you're nostalgic about yet. You'll get there. And it's going to be something dumb. Just like we're dumb about stuff.
We overheard, well, I didn't overhear my friend Stephanie, who her son is very good friends with my son. And I was picking him up from a hangout where all the boys were eating together at Chipotle and she kind of sat at another table. She let them like feel like cool teenagers. but she was telling me that she was listening to their conversations, and it was really funny because they were like, kids today just aren't going to know what it's like to have to like download an entire movie on your device before you get on an airplane. They're not even going to know what that's like. And it's like, oh, the struggles that these 13-year-old boys have been through having to download a movie on their device. It's so funny. They crack me up with that. Like,
Kids these days
don't get it. Yeah.
Like they can't even fathom. And it does. It's like when we say to Max, like, we didn't have phones. Like our phones were connected to the walls when I was a kid. Like there was like mobile phones were like a new thing. And then car phones. And I'm like, nobody had a phone. Like he doesn't understand that. Or the internet. The internet didn't exist. Like when we were kids. Yeah. The internet didn't exist. He's like, what does that mean? Like they can't. There's no world that they can fathom that.
I know. Nor should they have to.
Nor should they have to. They,
Our forefathers fought hard to make cell phones.
Right?
And the internet. So we should enjoy it.
That's what freedom smells like.
Us freedom.
Smells like Wi-Fi. Okay, so being absolutely terrified of being thought of as lazy. I know millennials, including myself, that are simply incapable of relaxing and just not doing anything.
Huh.
I mean, I think that describes you a little bit.
I'm incapable of sitting around and doing nothing.
Yeah.
That's just, I'm incapable. But I don't know if it's like I don't want to be called lazy because of millennial. I think I just don't want to be called lazy by my dad. I think it's a dad thing. Yeah. So
yeah, like, I don't know. That's what I'm like. I don't know. Maybe it's because they came of age in a time when like there, jobs weren't as easy to come by as they were when we first got out of college. I don't know. Okay, number 3 is those pointed toe booties with a low heel, skinny jeans, and a button-up blouse with a front tuck, usually paired with a Michelob Ultra, and can confirm.
I mean, have I worn that exact outfit and drinking a Michelob Ultra? Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah, no. Yeah. Never. I would never drink a Michelob Ultra. Okay.
I love that meme. That's the like it's Han Solo season and it's all the girls wearing the like blousy white top with the brown puffy vest and the boots. Their jeans tucked in the boots.
Yeah.
It's so funny to me.
That's amazing. Yeah. I mean, that never like looked great on me, so I was not my look. Not my look ever.
I was visiting a friend, my friend Milani in New York this weekend, and she has a she was once on a TV show called Amazing Wedding Cakes, and we thought it would be fun to like show it to the kids, so we watched a few episodes of it, and in like all the talking scenes, she was like, "Jesus Christ, like why are we all wearing scarves? Like all of us are wearing scarves," and I was like, "Because it was the early 2000s, like all of us wore a scarf with everything." I had like 1,000 scarves and I didn't feel complete. I felt naked if I wasn't wearing one.
I had like so many of those, like they were like really thin kind of like see-through scarves that were like long and skinny, and you just even in the summer we were wearing scarves and shit.
I know. It really was like
scarves.
It was like a comfort blanket or whatever, or a security blanket is what I'm trying to say, because it hid all of your body.
Oh yeah, you could like put it around, then it could, drape down the front. It was like nobody can see what's behind here.
There's no skin hanging over my jean. There's no muffin tops. It's all
right, my low-rise jean and my tucked in my 3/4 length button-up shirt.
Yeah, the early 2000s was like, okay, we're gonna make you wear low-rise jeans, but we're gonna give you these scarves, so it balanced out. You could hide your butt crack with a scarf.
Right. You had to choose front or back. Yeah. Oh god, those skinny ass scarves.
I know.
So I don't know if this is millennial or not, but it says being a hardcore Harry Potter fan or Disney adult.
Okay, that's not for me. I always think that's a little. I have lots of adult friends that are super into Harry Potter and Disney stuff, but it's just not. That's not my thing, and I do judge them heavily. They're my friends. Do I think they're weird? Yes.
Yes. But good. Go get your thing. Yeah, I don't know. I love Harry Potter as like a book and I loved the movies, but I wouldn't call myself a hardcore fan. And I'm definitely not a Disney adult. Definitely not. But, if that's your thing. I didn't know it was a millennial thing. Okay. When they ask for recommendations for something on social media, like tell me your favorite Chinese restaurants and then end it with, okay, go, as if everyone is rushing to give them the winning answer.
That's annoying. Yeah. I don't do that, but
You should though.
Okay, go.
If you really want to prove your millennial, bona fides, let's see some okay, go. This says, my Gen Z child told me that millennials take selfies with the phone up high and Gen Z take them at chin height. And I'm like, that's just because you haven't like age.
Yeah. You only have one chin. When you get more chins.
When you get more chins and like
phone must
light
be
angles.
Higher.
Yes. Also, fuck off. We invented the selfie, so
I
know. This says they say I did a thing, or when they see a dog, they call it a doge, which I think for me, I'm like those things sound like young people things, but but they're thinking young people are thinking that's like middle-aged people things, and so what I am is an old person.
Yeah.
It says putting all the states they have lived in their Instagram bio. So somebody would be like Chicago to New York to LA, which I've never noticed, but maybe
I don't pay attention to that either.
I know. It's really funny. I'm like, oh, okay. Okay, maybe this is very funny. This might be you. Okay, this says, if someone is an elder millennial, they will definitely make a point to make that distinction, which I think to be fair is fair, since being born in 1981 versus 1995 would lead to at least two quite different technological experiences while growing up.
Yeah, like I think that there is a difference. Elder millennials, in my opinion, seem to have better work ethic, and B, have that, good old fashioned Gen X self-loathing that younger millennials don't have. We hate ourselves.
Right? We hate ourselves.
We don't have that whole thing where we're like, I'm a goddess and I'm beautiful and I'm hot and I'm sexy. I'm a queen. No, good for you. I'm so glad that you think you're a queen. And I wholeheartedly mean that. And like, I wish I was that way, but no, we came from Weight Watchers and healthy choice meals. We hate ourselves.
We hate ourselves, and we think it's embarrassing if anybody gets the idea that we think anything we've done is cool or good.
Yeah.
Like exactly. I remember just being a little bit mortified at myself when I think I wrote on my, like, it felt very like powerful. I wrote on when I posted about the album I put out, and I was like, I'm really proud of this. And I was like, oh, are people gonna think I'm like saying bragging?
I remember when the worst word that you could be, the worst thing you could be is conceited. The word conceited was like pure evil. And if you were conceited, you were like the worst of the worst. And I think we all grew up kind of afraid of that word. But that word I don't think conceited even exists in Gen Z and younger millennials. Like, I don't think I haven't heard the word since 1995.
Yeah, they're like self-care, like look out for yourself. We're like, what?
Yeah, self-love, self-care. Like advocating for yourself and love yourself first. And we were like, no, wait, like you should hate everything about yourself.
Oh, yeah, like that's deflect,
immediately change.
You tell a millennial by the type of laughing emoji they use. Gen Z uses the skull or the skull with crossbones, or they use the the cry that has the tears, the streaming tears.
Just streaming. Okay.
While millennials use the hat with 2 tears or the hat with 2 tears coming down.
I'm not gonna lie. Since being thrown back into the dating world and stuff,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of texting, I cannot tell you how many times I've had to Google, like, what does it mean to get this emoji? Like, what does this mean? What are they saying? Like, and I've accidentally used wrong emojis before too. Like,
do the different color hearts mean different things?
I think so, and I think like I recently sent a text just like, like, yeah, haha, like I'm evil. And it was a devil emoji, but I think it accidentally meant something a little racy.
Oh, really?
I think it means horny if you send,
Oh,
but I
that
meant
makes
like,
sense.
yeah, I'm evil. But but like, I remember one time calling, he's now married to my cousin, my buddy Will. This was years ago, but he was like, asked me something about one of the shows that I was producing and he was on. I said something like, I got you, boo. And he was like, excuse, like, like, don't say boo. Boo means your boyfriend or something. And I was like, oh, I thought people were just like, hey, boo. Like, I just don't get it. I don't get any of it. I know. I'm not cool. And I shouldn't use any emojis. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I still put the like colon,
smiley face.
For the smiley face.
Yeah.
Like that's
I
use
that a lot too. I actually use that today. So
I use it kind of constantly.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one is layering a shirt over a longer tank top. So the bottom of these longer tank tops hang out lower than the shirt over top.
That was a necessity and an answer to the low-rise jeans.
Exactly.
You
I'm
had
like,
to
that's
wear
not,
them.
Yeah, we weren't like wearing it because we thought it looked cool. It was because otherwise our jeans and our bottoms didn't match up.
You had to.
I just don't get it. Okay, so this one, charcuterie obsession. Not saying it's bad, still delicious, but a bit on the nose. What does that mean?
It's like,
am I not allowed to love
eating
charcutes?
food? Yeah.
Right? They respond with no worries, which I do.
Oh, I
all
do
the time.
all the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They have a true crime obsession or a frequent incorrect use of the word unironic. Definitely a millennial.
Unironic. I don't think I used the word unironic, but obviously, we used to be a true crime podcast, so
I know. And I mean, also, we grew up on Alanis Morissette, so we were just trying to use ironic.
Yeah.
Isn't it ironic?
We could.
Don't you think?
And that word is completely misused in the entirety of the song.
Oh yeah,
none of that's ironic.
None of it's ironic.
So she set us on the wrong path.
Isn't it in Reality Bites where she's like, ladies in like she's trying to get a writing job and they were like, define irony, and she's like, I don't. Is it ironic that they're trying? She's trying to define. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's a very Gen X statement I just made. Okay, so this is from a anonymous Gen Xer says about millennials. They say their personalities. They're done following the status quo and are actively questioning how we've always done things. They don't take any BS from anyone, refuse to back down, and are probably the best generation I, a Gen Xer, have seen.
Okay, those are all nice things.
That's a nice thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, best generation is, a bold statement. Okay, so then an anonymous boomer says, most millennials I've met cut you off mid-sentence, disrespect those that are older, and don't recognize that age is a privilege denied to many. They think they're better than us boomers. They're also late and don't keep their commitments.
That's why I say I'm an elder millennial.
So this person said, I'm at that weird cusp of being born in 96, so I'm either a young millennial or an old Gen Z.
96? Oh,
So
I
young,
see. Okay, okay.
young. Yeah, I know.
Okay,
That's why I was
like-
confused too. But something I definitely do that other millennials do is still quote Vines. Like, I'm sorry, but Vine was way better than TikTok because it was a show, don't tell. So it made you had to make more of an impact in those short few seconds. TikToks go on unnecessarily long for usually the stupidest shit. You better believe anytime I see a roadwork ahead sign, I'm saying, yeah, I sure hope it does. This is all over my head.
I know. I'm like that, and that shows my age right there. I don't know what Vine is. I don't know what that meme is, or that Vine is, or that stop sign. I don't know anything.
In my view, right? Like, I was obviously already an adult when Vine was a thing. In my view, Vine was around for like 30 seconds. I don't even think of it as like something that was impactful.
I truly have never heard of it. I'm not even kidding. I don't know what it is.
It was, like a social app where people made videos, but people were like Vine stars.
You think? Just kidding. Is that where I belong? Fine.
Yeah. So that's
funny.
all. That's how we can identify the millennials.
That's funny. I cannot believe avocado toast isn't even mentioned in that list. I think because
maybe
everybody
it's
knows
just
it's
so
delicious, and they
maybe
just want to
it's
eat
so
it.
basic that Gen Z is like, we can't.
I remember reading an article a long time ago about how millennials changed the avocado industry.
Oh, really?
Something. Yeah, and which then in turn is changing like climate, and it's crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
But just they're pretty delicious, and I probably will keep eating them.
Good healthy fat. There you go. All right, what list do you got today?
Okay, I'm doing something a little different today. It is while it is still from BuzzFeed because I love them.
You are loyal.
Yes. But I will tell you my list for next week is not a BuzzFeed. So you guys get ready. But this week, this is a listicle for BuzzFeed compiled by Matt Stapera. And it is 24 celeb crush confessions that are both weird and typical. So I'm going to name I'll name the celebrity.
Okay.
And then I'll tell you who their celebrity crush is or was.
Okay.
And see if you can guess, maybe.
Okay. Oh, it's going to
maybe
be
guess
so bad at this.
Okay, so Blake Lively's childhood crush was.
Okay. It was Dan Rather.
Oh my God, that's actually really not that close, but kind of on the same.
Is it?
Kind of on the same tip. David Letterman. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, it's an
old newscaster-y kind of guy.
Yeah. That's
Can
so
I tell
interesting.
you that I'm wondering, we'll have to see how I do with the rest of these, because that was just like the first name that popped in my head. I was like, who's like an older guy? Dan Rather was the older man that came to my head. But one thing that I'm like weirdly good at, even though I don't really know celebrities at all, is guessing celebrities' actual age. Like Ben likes to do this. He'll be like, how old is this person here? And I'll be like, 52. And he's like, oh my God, they are 50, whatever. So I'm wondering if this is another one of my hidden skills.
Oh, it might be. It might be. And I know that we did our celebrity crushes as a top 5 months ago. So I know that we already know like who some of our weird celebrity crushes are.
Yeah.
Jason Bateman, I love you. Just call me Jason. Turk
Margot
from
Robbie,
Scrubs,
anytime.
where are you?
He's making commercials, I think now.
Yeah.
Last time I saw him.
Jon Favreau, I'm waiting. Okay. And then who do you think Meryl Streep's celebrity crush is?
I think her celebrity crush is Tom Cruise.
No, not even close. So
Okay.
You're not good at it.
Damn it.
It is Will Ferrell.
Okay.
Which I can say I kind of have a celebrity crush on Will Ferrell. Girls just want somebody to make them laugh.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Okay, LL Cool J, who I have to mention that my mom once met LL Cool J when she managed his book signing, but she referred to him, and probably still does, as LJ Cooley. So so I can't look at his face without calling him LJ Cooley. Sorry.
I think LJ Cooley was one of my first celebrity crushes. Like he was one of the first celebrities that I was like, oh, like he wasn't just like a teen boy, like a kid my age. He was like a man who you're like, oh, he's sexual.
Yeah, he gave me feelings.
He gave me feelings.
Guess who his celebrity crush is?
Jennifer Lopez.
Nope.
Who?
Meryl Streep.
What? I feel like both of those answers
even more.
Well, I feel like that's like one of those answers that a PR person came up with. Like, people are gonna love this.
Let us have this.
Okay.
He told Build magazine that in 2017.
All right.
So, just so you know.
Sorry.
Okay, Jennifer Lawrence has a celebrity crush on.
Okay, on Stephen Hawking.
No, but this is so mean for me to say that he's anywhere near Stephen Hawking. But
well, I was like, what's the quirkiest person
Jennifer Lawrence answer, right?
Yeah,
it's quirky. So that's on.
Is it Bill Nye the Science Guy? That's probably better.
Larry David.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. Which, Larry David's so funny, and I could see that being attractive for sure.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know that I would like have sex with Larry David. Although if like Larry David has that whole, not to compare him to Woody Allen because I don't fucks with Woody Allen no more. But it's
you're too old. He wouldn't fucks with you either.
True. Good point. But like where he writes himself into these scenes with these like young beautiful women that are in love with him, like every Curb Your Enthusiasm season the women get hotter and younger,
right.
You know what I mean, that are dating Larry David, but they probably actually would in real life is the thing, but not in Woody Allen's case. Anyway, Adele's celebrity crush is
Oh, okay. It is Robbie Williams.
Nope. Mm-mm.
Who is it?
This person, and I totally understand. Zach Galifianakis.
Oh yeah.
I would totally date Zach Galifianakis. She said it's for husband material. It ranges from Leonardo DiCaprio to Zach Galifianakis. I like all sizes. It doesn't matter if they make me laugh. I am on it. Agreed. That's kind of my thing. It's like, as long as you're funny, if you make me laugh, I'm on it. Ariana Grande's first celebrity crush was
Ryan Reynolds.
No, again, funny guys, Jim Carrey.
I feel like this is all made up.
Let this be a lesson. Women just want somebody to make them laugh. Okay, Doja Cat's celebrity crush is.
I don't think I know who Doja Cat is.
Oh, she's cool.
Wait, is she sing that song that's like, "Bitch, I said what I said"? Is that Doja Cat?
I don't know, but I know.
Ooh, he's a rebel. It's a bad little bitch. She's a venom.
She sings Boss Bitch. I love that song, Boss Bitch. Alice always plays it for me in her dance class.
Oh, yeah,
I'm a bitch. Okay. I'm a boss. I'm a bitch.
I'm a bitch. I'm a boss.
Yeah, that.
Okay.
I know her because I love that song, but I can't claim to be like a huge fan where I know all of her other songs because I don't.
Okay, her celebrity crush is Will Smith.
Nope. Also Jim Carrey. See?
There
People
we go.
love Jim
all right.
Carrey.
Huh.
Okay. Jared Leto, who is one of my childhood crushes.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. Jared Leto's Jordan Catalano forever. Jared Leto's childhood celebrity crush was.
It was Mary Louise Parker.
No, and I feel like this is him being quirky and Jared Leto-y. Barbara Eden and Vanna White. Well, I guess I can understand that if he was really young. They were around then. Yeah.
Yeah. I
And they're
mean, Vanna
beautiful,
White
yeah.
was like the epitome of classy, beautiful, glamorous woman.
Yeah, you're
For,
right.
like-
She still is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I mean, she wore prom dresses all year round.
Every
It was
day.
amazing.
And heels. Kristen Stewart's celebrity crush is
It is.
it's two people. I'll let you know. That
Are they
there's two
twins?
people. No. Two totally different people.
Oh, I can't come up with that. Who is it? I think
Harrison Ford and Amy
Okay.
Adams. Those are both very crushable people.
There you go.
Taylor Swift's celebrity crush is or was.
Okay, it is Paul Simon.
No, hers is actually like somebody that's like around her age, which is Chase Crawford.
I don't know who that is.
He was like one of those young WB actors or something.
Okay.
Jason Sudeikis' celebrity crush was.
Okay, this is gonna be like an older, funny woman. It was Rita Rudner.
Oh my God, you're so close as far as older, funny woman.
Yeah.
Ellen. Not as old as Rita Rudner, but Ellen. Zac Efron's celebrity crush growing up was.
Okay, this is gonna also be This is gonna be a middle-aged woman. It's gonna be Julia Roberts.
No, Tyra Banks.
Oh, that's
It's
a good one.
gorgeous. Yeah. I'm obsessed with him. He's so handsome. Oscar Isaac's celebrity crush growing up was, oh my God, please be a woman that looks exactly like me and is my age. I don't know. Okay. I'm scrolling. I don't know who it is.
Ooh, okay. Let's say Marissa Tomei.
Oh my God, I hope. I've been getting that. The older I get, the more people compare me to Marissa Tomei, and I'm so happy about that.
We were watching My Cousin Vinny, and I was like, oh my God, this is Jen. This is Jen.
I will accept that with open arms. It was Jessica Lange. Wow.
Okay.
I sold shoes to Jessica Lange one time, and
Did you?
Yeah, and she was so like cool and unassuming, and like was just wearing like, jeans and a t-shirt, no makeup, and sunglasses on. And she had her big golden retriever with her, and I was just playing with the dog the whole time, and I didn't even realize it was her until I looked at the credit card when she paid. That I was like, oh fuck, Jessica Lange. It's crazy. Okay, Lady Gaga's first celebrity crush was
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
No, Adrian Brody. I think he's also very handsome.
Yes, there was like definitely a minute when he was like, whew. What was the movie? I can't remember the movie he was in where he like first
Summer of Sam.
Maybe
he played
it.
He's been in a bunch of stuff, but that was the movie I remember him first.
Yeah, I was trying to think of like that first time you saw him, because he is like very striking, right? Mm-hmm. And he's, and there's something like very handsome about him. Yeah.
I love an interesting nose, a unique nose. Nothing makes me more sad than when somebody with like a really pretty nose or interesting nose gets a nose job.
Right.
Ellen's first celebrity crush was
Tom Cruise.
No, but that was, remember when Rosie O'Donnell was obsessed with Tom Cruise?
Yes, that's what I'm thinking.
We really believed her for a long time.
Right. I mean, she was calling him a cutie patootie, like, so we should have known.
Yeah. Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Interesting.
And Britney Spears' celebrity crush was and will always be I think you could get this one.
Could I? Is it?
Yeah.
How do I know?
Like, who is someone that everyone around her age had a crush on, and he only gets better with age? Although I have been hearing that he's kind of a dick. No, I do.
Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt. Yeah. Oprah's celebrity crush was
Denzel Washington.
no Neil Diamond. That's funny. Leslie Jones's celebrity crush is
Denzel Washington. I'm just gonna say him until
no
somebody
Ryan Reynolds.
picks him. I loved Denzel Washington was one of my celebrity crushes.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Justin Bieber's celebrity crush is or was
Cindy Crawford.
Jennifer Lawrence.
Okay.
Which I guess she just wasn't into it. James Marsden's celebrity crush is.
Oh my! Have you watched Jury Duty?
I was just gonna say I didn't have a crush on him until I watched him in Jury Duty, and I'm like, oh my god, he's the fucking coolest.
We just finished it last night. It's so great. It's delightful.
So good. And he's so self-deprecating that it just makes you fall in love with him.
Yes, you're like,
I love it.
So great in that. Okay, his celebrity crush was we're thinking about an older lady. He's probably in his 40s, so it's gonna be who was the lady who was like the perfect 10?
Bo Derek.
That's who it is.
No, Helen Mirren. So maybe, I have a chance. Maybe. I don't know. 50 Cent celebrity crush is
Nia Long.
Also Helen Mirren.
Crazy.
Maybe I need to study up on my Helen Mirren. Like, what is she doing? I mean, she's very pretty, but I'm just saying, like, what was her? Is that at the boobs?
She does have great boobs.
Oh, I don't have those. Okay.
But you could get them.
No, I could. I just need money. Let's see. Scarlett Johansson's celebrity crush is
this is going to be like, again, somebody quirky, and Denzel Washington.
No, Gordon Ramsay. And I find this relatable.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. Because he's like, but then he's also like, when you really get to talk to him, he's so very kind and sweet. He's just like, it's like that whole, like, you kind of just want to like bring out his sweet side. Like, I know you're in there. I know you're a good dude. You want to be nice. You don't want to be this character. It's a gimmick. And also, like, who doesn't love a chef? Just saying. Harry Styles' first celebrity crush was
it was Keira Knightley.
No, Jennifer Aniston, which is actually pretty close. I feel like they kind of have the same cool girl 90s vibe, right?
Yeah.
And Jennifer Aniston's first celebrity crush was
it was Tom Selleck.
Simon Le Bon, I guess from Duran Duran.
Oh, okay.
Wait, right? He's from Duran Duran, right?
Oh.
They're not just Duran and Duran, right?
Bob and John Duran.
Duran Duran. Duran Bon John Jovi. Okay. And last but certainly not least, James Corden's celebrity crushes. I don't like James Corden. I've heard terrible things about him, and he was caught on camera like being a total fuckface to a server. So I don't really care who it is, but let's just finish this out.
All right. It's gonna be some supermodel, so it's Heidi Klum.
No, it's Hillary Clinton.
All right. That's
off.
a PR, whatever.
Yeah, you're a dick. We all know it.
Nobody believes you.
Yeah. So that's it. That was fun, right?
Yeah.
Something different.
I mean, it was certainly more fun than my science body
Your
part
body
one,
so. Listen, we learned a lot of interesting facts that day.
All right, well, let's get to our list.
All right.
Top 5.
Lists of Fury. Yes.
Our top 5 this week is also a list of fury. I think we did list of fury last week. So what?
We
We could
did.
do it however much we want to.
We're fucking fired up. We're
Yeah.
going to tell you about some things that are the worst. So this week we're going to do our top 5 worst jobs.
Yes.
And
Man.
it
was
was
hard to pick.
It was hard to pick. I was going to say I've had a lot of jobs that I think could fit on this list. Like a lot of jobs that could fit on this list.
And I've had a lot of weird jobs, like, you know, I don't know if you guys are familiar with my career as a hand model or a dancing zombie at Six Flags Fright Fest. But I wouldn't say those are the worst. Those were actually like, I mean, well, the Six Flags one was pretty terrible, but I think these other ones are worse. But the hand modeling job was great until I got fired for having hungover hands.
Jen got a little dehydrated. I went to get blood drawn at like 8 a.m. the other day, and they were like, "Have you had any water this morning? Your blood seems very dehydrated." And I was like, "No, I fucking rolled out of bed and
woke
came
up.
here." No,
You're welcome for my blood.
Right?
That's so rude.
Have you had any water yet? I was like, no, who has the time?
God.
I was like, I have
Do you want my
5
blood or
gallons of
not?
coffee.
You should have been like, I will take my blood and get out of here.
Right? Oof.
All right. Do you want to start?
Okay, yeah, I'll start. Okay, so
Okay.
my number 5 worst job was my very first job, which was I cleaned offices and then did data entry for my mom. She worked for a nonprofit, but the thing that made it the worst job was that I often had to go there by myself, and the office was in like a abandoned wing, not abandoned, but a closed wing of a mental health hospital. So
Whoa.
it was all these people who were like, you know, basically had to live there from the state. Like maybe they had committed a crime and then instead of going to jail, they went to this mental health facility.
How old were you?
I was 15, so I couldn't get like a normal job because I was underage.
Oh my God.
And then they had like, we're starting, it was like when they started, we're starting to close down those like state institutions. And they closed one part of it. And then these nonprofits were like on these like empty floors. So it was like a whole empty floor. I'd be up in like this elevator, but there was still there were people that lived there. It was like very, there was a lot of like weird encounters.
Like Shutter Island.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So that was my first job.
So my number 5, my first one is also my first job, which was when I was 10. And this is exactly why like we are older millennials or Gen Xers, is because we started working immediately.
Yeah.
So when I was 10, my first job, my sister and I got hired. We used to work at this place called Millie's Plastercraft. And it was like a painting place where you would like, because we spent a lot of time there painting.
Yeah.
And then my mom would just drop us off and we'd paint. And then they started hiring us to do kids' birthday parties. So we were like, that's fine. And like, I truly don't even remember getting money. We should have. I think we did. But we worked these kids' birthday parties. But the reason that they were so terrible this job was so terrible was that after the kids painted their piece of plaster or whatever, then it was our jobs to take them into this tiny room, no bigger than a closet. It actually was a closet.
Yeah.
And then you spray the pieces with this like shellac. And I remember it was either
so toxic.
Yeah,
it was exactly what you're talking about. It's like we do that like sometimes some types of pottery, like to seal it, you'll spray that.
Yeah.
You have to like wear a mask and do it outside.
Nope. We'd go into this little closet. We were 10 and 12 years old, and we would spray it with this shellac. And I remember you could either pick glitter or regular.
Yeah.
And we would just sit there with our tiny little lungs in this closet, like, and breathe it in. And nobody gave us any warning. Nobody told us to wear a mask. Nobody opened the fucking door. It was like we were probably still dealing with the effects from it. But yeah, it was so fucked up that they let us do that. It's crazy.
Oh, that's hilarious. You guys were probably high as fucking kites, man.
I don't remember getting paid. I probably did get paid, and then I just like spent the money on candy and ate it. I don't know.
They were just like, you were back there just basically like sniffing glue, like
Yeah.
sniffing paint. That's crazy. Oh my God.
Yeah.
My number 4 worst job was, and I worked at a million restaurants. Like I worked so many restaurants, and this was the worst one. And this is when I worked at Don Pablo's. Have you ever been to Don Pablo's?
No.
It's a chain restaurant. It's a Mexican restaurant, and it was, well, you know, faux, like Tex-Mex. It was like the dirtiest. It's a big chain. It was the dirtiest place I've ever worked. It had the meanest
good
people.
to know.
It was like in the back at the end of the night, they would just take like a spray and like water and just spray down everything, and like all the dirt would just come. It was like they didn't clean. They just like sprayed things down, and all the dirt would like go into one side of the restaurant in the back. And it was like the worst job ever. And then the reason why I finally quit was I was coming home from a shift, and there was like the bartender was in front of me in his car, and then I was in the middle, and then another woman who worked there was behind me because we had all closed, and we just happened to be like, it was when I was in college, we we're going back to campus, and he slammed on his brakes, and then I hit him, and then the woman who was behind me hit me. So we all three got in a car accident together. And my car was totaled because I was in the middle. I was like crunched.
Oh no.
And I had like a neck injury. And I mean, it was, I mean, nothing really bad, but like enough that like the next day I was supposed to go in for a shift. And I called in and was like, hey, I was in a car accident yesterday. My car is totaled. I need to go to the doctors to like get this checked out for my insurance. And the boss was like, if you don't come in, you're fired. And I was just like,
fuck you.
Fuck you. I quit. And then I hung up, and it was like the only time I've ever quit like that. And it felt so good.
Good for you. Good for you.
Pablo's. They did have really good queso though.
But it sounds like it was dirty.
It was
queso.
dirty queso.
My number 4 is Claire's at the mall. I was like a teenager and I worked at Claire's, and that's the only job that I ever got fired from was Claire's, and I got fired because they like wanted me to pierce people's ears, and I did. And I was just an idiot 15-year-old, and my lesson was all of 2 seconds, and now I'm supposed to put holes in people's ears. And I would do adults, but when women would come in and bring their babies, I was just like, actually, it's like really bad for babies to pierce their ears, and a lot of babies are allergic to nickel, and it's bad. They can choke on it, and they pull it out, and then if they still wanted to get it done, I'd be like, actually, I'm not able to do it, but the one upstairs can do it, because there was 2 Claire's in the mall.
Oh man,
and
that's
so
fancy
then
mall.
they finally caught on to me that I was sending people the babies upstairs. They fired me, and I stand by that. You shouldn't put a hole in a baby's ear. I mean, I know culturally it's different. Yeah.
You should ask a 15-year-old with a gun who had 2 seconds of training to do it. Like,
that's for a pediatrician to do. If you're going to pierce your baby's ears, go to a doctor, not to me. I was so stupid.
Like, can you imagine now, though, like, if you went to do something for your child and some fucking 15-year-old was like, I don't think that's a smart choice, like a good parenting decision, you'd be like, get out of here.
I know. They were probably pretty mad at me for being judgy, but I was just, it's not that I was so much being judgy. I was just terrified. Like, I don't want to put a hole in your baby's ear. Don't give me that responsibility.
No, what if you do it in the wrong place?
I would have.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so my number 3 worst job was when I was in college. I worked at this place. I got this job. It was like in town. It was at a factory, and I worked second shift. And I swear to this day that factory was like a front for something else, because what they would do.
Factory.
Well, so this is why I'm like, it's so hard to explain. We used to like put inserts into, they used to get like cell phone manuals with your cell phone, and we would put like little paper inserts, like if there was a new warning or something in those, but they would like, it was so janky that they would just like bring out the conveyor belts for us in this back room, and we all got paid cash under the table.
Oh, wow.
And so we would just like put inserts, and we would get a 15-minute break for an 8-hour shift. And then sometimes we would use these like heat guns and we would like shrink wrap CDs, like put the plastic on
What?
CDs. I don't know why or what, but when I went to apply for the bar exam, you have to like list and put a reference of every single place you've ever worked. It was really hard to do because I've had a ton of jobs. And I had to find a reference and I couldn't find any like proof that this place ever existed. Like,
Oh my God, it
because I
probably
didn't have any
didn't.
pay stubs, and I was like, I don't know. It was like definitely not still there. There was no record of it, so I think it was like a front for drugs or something.
Probably. Oh my God.
But it was like me and then a bunch of townies, like just like older men smoking cigarettes, and I was just.
How did you find that job?
I think it was when I quit Don Pablo's. I needed a job.
And you needed a job right away? Yeah.
And I saw in the newspaper that this place was hiring second shift. So it was like I would work from like 3 to 11.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember answering an ad. I want to say my friend Melissa answered some ad that was like, sell art, work in a make money, sell. And we were like, yeah, we can do that. And like we went off of like to some warehouse off like Peachtree Industrial Boulevard or something. And it was like they were like, put all these in your car and drive them around to offices. And we were like, what? So we ended up not taking the job, but the job was like they gave you all these like prints, like framed prints, and then you were supposed to go to different office buildings and try to sell them. I was like, no thanks. I'll go find another shitty bar to work at.
Right. And they were like, and also you have to buy the prints to sell them. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the part, something like that. Okay, my number 3 was my mom's friend, Cameron Castle, but she was Southern, but that's just the way that my mom would pronounce it. She was Southern, and she owned a little salon, and it was called Easy Hair, and I worked at Easy Hair, and but it was like all real older Southern women and stuff.
Like they're getting their hair set in curls, and they're under the dryers.
Yeah, and they would get like perms and stuff. And like I did a lot of stuff like the front desk, swept the hair, blah, blah, blah. But I remember like the part that skeeved me out the most was like when, like little old ladies got their perms. Like I was to take all the like little perm rollers and papers off their hair and then wash their hair. And then it was just like the smell of the perm and like the wet curls and my fingers was just like I was not prepared, so I did not like that job at all.
Oh man,
sure
perm smell
didn't.
is like something that I think every woman of a certain age knows that smell.
Yeah,
and if you haven't, it's a particular smell.
All of the women that work there, like all the stylists, if you will, were all just like your most like road hard, put away wet, like tough fucking, Southern ladies that didn't give a fuck. They'd stand outside and like chain smoke cigarettes and then like yell at you if you put someone in their chair or booked an appointment. And I remember they would like eat. And that was part of my job too, was to always get them their lunches, which was normally from Captain D's. And that's where I learned about ordering extra crunch. And then they would just sit there and eat the crunch and smoke more cigarettes and yell with their fingers in perms. I hated that job. Oh man. That's where my dad caught me smoking cigarettes though. Because he came in to get his hair dyed. But that's when I found out my dad dyed his hair. And I was sitting outside smoking a cigarette, and then he walked up, and it was kind of like he was like, huh. Like, I won't say anything if you won't say anything.
Right?
Like, hey.
Like, mutually assured destruction. You're like, I won't say anything about the hair.
Yeah.
Okay. That's hilarious.
What's your number 2?
My number 2 was also in college. I worked at, like, basically I was a telemarketer. I worked at a call center for Dial America. And I used to call people and we would try to sell them Intuit by TurboTax.
Oh,
like
yeah.
TurboTax by Intuit. And so of course they want you to like, you had to like keep calling, but they would let you only have an 8-second break in between calls. So I would just, and you're supposed to like pick up the phone and just dial. But I would always wait the 8 seconds. And they were like, Sally, you're not meeting your quotas. And I was like, oh, because I don't care. Like, I don't care. I just have to have a job. And
you need those 8 seconds to like contemplate your life choices.
Yes,
like, how did I end up here?
Like, hi, this is Sally with Intuit, the makers of TurboTax. And people would be like, fuck you, it's dinner time. I'd be like, okay. I understand. This is why I'm like terrified of the phone.
Oh, I don't blame you.
Why I hate calling. I hate phones. This is why.
Do not blame you. I would not be able to do that.
I didn't last long.
Number 2, and I think I talked about it here once before, was when I worked at the ballpark snack stand or whatever, very briefly. And it was terrible because the guy that I worked with, my manager, was terrible. And he was a total creep and made me uncomfortable. And he was fired. I quit because he made me so uncomfortable. And then he was fired. And then later the people that owned the snack stand, it was Blimpie owned it, called me and they were like, did he ever do anything to make you uncomfortable? And still, even though I was safe and I was still so scared of him that I was like, no, nothing happened. No. But I wanted to, like, I should have been. And that's when people always ask, why didn't you report it? And why didn't you say anything? And why? It's like, because we're fucking scared. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, this guy was crazy and he had guns in his car. Like, and I was like 15. Yeah. So anyway, that was I hated that job just because of that guy. If it was anybody else that I was working in the snack stand with, I would have probably done that forever because it was so easy. But it was just that guy that sucked. Yeah.
Ugh, I hate him.
Me too.
My number 1 worst job ever, because it was like morally wrong, was I was a temp worker. I was like working for a temp agency and they placed me at, it was Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield had like just taken over all of the contracts, like all of the insurance for all of the military. So everybody who is in the military now had to go through Anthem Blue Cross to make their doctor's appointments, to do anything that they used to be able to just call their doctor. Now they had to go through their insurance provider and they were not prepared, right? So they didn't have enough people to like answer the phone. So people were like having to wait on the phones for like 4 hours. And what they hired all these temp workers to do was once somebody had been on the phone for like 3 or 4 hours, they would hire us to answer the phone and say, I'm sorry, I can't help you. I have to take your number and somebody will call you back.
Oh my God. How soul crushed. Did people like cry?
Yes, because first of all, they've been on the line. They're just trying to get medical help. Oh my God. They would be like, I served this country. And I would be like crying, be like, I know, my dad was in the Air Force and I grew up in the military and I totally understand. And I'm so sorry. And I if I could do anything else, I would. And
oh God,
it was the worst, like just the worst. And I did it for, like a couple months because it was like a temp job in between, like over summer or something. I can't remember why I was there, but like, whew, that was the worst one.
Oh God, no, you were like way too sensitive and tenderhearted for that job. And whoever can stomach it is like, you have to ask yourself what kind of a person you are.
Yeah, it just made, I was like, oh, that is like the insurance. That just, it's so awful.
So gross. Mm-hmm. And that really makes you think about, I hung out with this person over the summer and I remember him saying something like, had previously been in like not a telemarketing job, but some kind of like customer service type environment that he quit to go be a bartender or whatever. And I not this summer, it was a couple summers ago. Anyway, and he told me that that basically their whole job, like what they all did was just push people around from call to call to call to call, because it's like
by
and that
design,
was just the name of the game. And I was like, well, that fucking sucks. And he was like, yeah, it sucks, but we're just collecting a paycheck. You just, like, it's not to help people. Customer service is not to help people. It's just to keep pushing people around. And it's
just to get people off the phone without having to do anything for them. Yeah. Just so it's awful all around.
I know.
Soul sucking.
My number one worst job ever. I don't know if it really is, but I wouldn't be able to stomach it for even a day anymore. Was when I worked at Buffalo's Cafe, and it was across the street from a high school, from Sprayberry High School, and it was all just like a bunch of like high school boys came in for bash night. We would have these bash nights, and it would be like $9.99, all you can eat. And then so it was just me running around like a maniac trying to like keep bringing wings to these boys who in order to impress each other, they were being like as rude as they possibly could, talk down to me as much as they could. They tried to like show off to each other how much they can eat, how much of a mess they can make, this tower that they can build out of their like, soda cups and straw, like just a fucking mess. And then they would all come in with like a $10 bill and think that covered everything. So there were nights like I didn't make any money. I didn't make any tips. And there were nights where I would have to cover like what they didn't cover, because it's so hard to keep track of a table of 20 boys that are all running around and going to different tables. And it was just like a high school hangout, Yeah. And it was like, and then on top of that, my boss and his girlfriend that worked there as well, they were just such fucking crack. Like you could tell they would send me to go get Starbucks for them. And they would be like, can I get like a, triple venti, whatever the fuck, with like 8 extra shots. And it was like, you could tell that they were cokeheads, that like the only way they could get through work was by like substituting their cocaine with their Starbucks and 8 shots.
Yeah.
God, I remember that guy convincing me one time. He's like, you got a Honda there? You don't need to get an oil change. I've driven a Honda Civic for 6 years. Never once changed my oil. You don't need a fucking oil change. It's a scam. And I was like, I don't think it is. I think you need an oil change. He's like, it's a scam. It's fucking dummies. I didn't last long because I was like, fuck this, fuck you, fuck your Starbucks, fuck your oil.
Oh my God.
It's so disgusting.
Well, there we go. There's some of our worst jobs. You know what? It makes me appreciate what I have now.
Yeah. For sure.
For sure. So we want to hear from you guys. We want to hear your worst jobs. We want to hear, do you do millennial bullshit? And we also want to hear who your celebrity crush is. So hit us up on the socials.
You're about to say Dumb Love Pod.
Yes,
we're not. We're at the Ridiculous.
We're not. We're at the Ridiculous Pod on Instagram. We're at the Ridiculous Podcast on TikTok. You can email us at the Ridiculous Podcast at gmail.com. Rate and review. Tell a friend. We would love that.
We would. Thank you guys so much for everything. Thanks for listening. Thank you for sharing and telling all your friends. And we'll be back next week with more fun lists.
Ridiculous, ridiculous, ridiculous.